Welcome back to the Biblical Blueprint. It's your boy Raylo. You know what's going on. Going chapter by chapter, verse by verse, showing you how the Bible is the best book for your life and for your business. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're back and we are working out of the book of Genesis. We're in Genesis 13. We've been making our strides. And now we're talking about your boy Abram. You know what I'm saying? He has not become Abraham yet. He is Abram. And he is our first action hero. But we haven't got to the action yet. Right now, we in the journey. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we done left out of Egypt. You know, the Pharaoh done tried to take his wife and then came up short. Go back and check out my previous video if you want to know more about what happened with Abram and the Pharaoh. But right now, we are traveling through the desert and we about to have some little issues going on. So let's go ahead and let's get into Genesis chapter 13, okay?
So Abram left Egypt. He traveled through the Negev with his wife and everything he owned. Lot was also with them. At this time, Abram was very rich. He had many animals and much silver and gold. Abram continued traveling around. He left the Negev and went back to Bethel. He went to the place between the city of Bethel and Ai, where he and his family had camped before. This was where Abram had built an altar earlier, so he worshipped the Lord there. During this time, Lot was also traveling with Abram. Lot had many animals and tents. Abram and Lot had so many animals that the land could not support both of them together. The Canaanites and the Perizzites were also living in this land at the same time. The shepherds of Abram and Lot began to argue. So Abram said to Lot, "There should be no arguing between you and me, or between your people and my people. We are all brothers. We should separate. You can choose any place you want. If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked and saw the whole Jordan Valley. He saw that there was much water there. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. At that time, the Jordan Valley all the way to Zoar was like the Lord's garden. This was good land, like the land of Egypt. So Lot chose to live in the Jordan Valley. The two men separated, and Lot began traveling east. Abram stayed in the land of Canaan, and Lot lived among the cities in the valley. Lot moved as far as Sodom and made his camp there. The Lord knew that the people of Sodom were very evil sinners. After Lot left, the Lord said to Abram, "Look around you. Look north, south, east, west. All this land that you see I will give to you and your people who live after you. This will be your land forever. I will make your people so many that they will be like the dust of the earth. If people could count all the particles of dust on earth, they could count your people. So go, walk through your land. I now give it to you." So Abram moved his tents. He went to live near the big trees of Mamre. This was near the city of Hebron. There he built an altar to honor the Lord. Genesis 13, 1-18 ERV.
All right, so that was Genesis chapter 13. Kind of short, but you know, I wanted to make a video about this because it showed more of Abram's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? It's peace over pride. You know what I'm saying? It's separation as a strategy. You know what I'm saying? He came out. They start arguing because they had a lot. You know what I'm saying? That I think I spoke about that. You know, Abraham started balling. We got cattle, we got sheep, we got shepherds, we got people working for us. We own right now, right? And at this point in time, you know what I'm saying, the shepherds, because you know, not only is it just Abram and his wife, he got his nephew Lot. You know what I'm saying? Lot rolling with him. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot too. He got his own little crew too. And the crew start to fight. And Abram, being the boss, comes and was like, "Man, ain't no reason for us to be out here fighting. We brothers. Ain't no reason. So I'm gonna go this way, you gonna go that way." And you know what I'm saying? He's not saying it out of a situation of he wants to be not with Lot, but it's like there's a lot of land out here. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Lot looks a certain direction. He sees what's good. He sees where there's a whole bunch of water and everything. And Abram ain't about to just jump and be like, "Oh no, don't go that way. I'm going that way." No, Abram's like, "No, go that way," because he is already set a covenant with God, where God is already going to bless him. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And God comes back and reaffirms that, hey, I'm going to bless you in this land. This is going to be your land forever and ever and ever. So it's like he's given almost like divine real estate, you know. Um, Kind of going back to the whole just not arguing thing, you know. I always like to I want to just make this a point, right? Fighting never solves anything. Whereas there's an argument or anything like that, it's you always got to come to the solution. What is the solution? You know what I'm saying? We didn't see that their spat lasted long. They just came to a solution, and the whole thing is like we're brothers, we family. We not about to fight. I always it's always think back to when we was kids, right? I remember me and my one of my best friends, we had a little argument, right? And he like I remember I was still mad, and it like just had me tore up. And he came, he was like, "Well, we supposed to fight? Like, are you serious?" And he was a little bit younger than me, and it was just like it just hit me hard. Where it was like, no. And we are still friends to this day. I'm almost 40, and like we've known each other since I don't even remember when I met this guy. We were so young, and we're still friends to this day. People are always amazed, like, how are you guys friends? Like, you guys are still friends. We ain't never had no fallouts. We've had arguments, but it ain't nothing too major. It's always something when we come back around. And like one thing now I realize is that, you know what I'm saying? It's because we refrain from arguments and fights. Like I just recently saw where like a content creator, he had a group of friends where they started, getting a little bit of motion, you know what I'm saying, as far as like doing business together, right? And they had a little fallout, and he was like, "Nah, we should, as friends, we should just put on some boxing gloves and fight it out, and then hug it out at the end." I totally disagree with that. That don't ever work. Not like it's just you supposed to just come to a solution and just what it's small. Forget about it. Keep it pushing. And I'm speaking this out loud because I still have issues that I have, but and I'm gonna use that as just my plan and my strategy. What is the solution? Because everything else is irrelevant at this point in time. If you can't just focus on the solution, then maybe we shouldn't be talking. And obviously, Lot stuck with the solution, and he was blessed. Like he took the good land. You know what I'm saying? There was plenty of water and everything. But you just see that you know it doesn't matter for Abraham. He's going to be blessed regardless. You know, one of the reasons why I kind of talk about like the whole argument thing is because I've gotten to a point where even in the most tense arguments, I keep my cool. And even when I do kind of lose my cool, I always reflect to myself, man, it ain't that big. You didn't have to say certain things. And I've gotten really, 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 really better with handling my issues, whether it be with family, people outside of family, or just my relationship. So, I just want to pass on something. I want you guys to go to raylo.tv and check out the Miracle Blueprint. It's free. You know, if you want to see God move in your life, and one of the things that we work with is anger and complaining. One of the things that lead you to anger is your complaints. And once you kind of stop complaining about things, your anger disappears. I remember one of my friends told me that I had an anger problem, and like I was like, I seem like a pretty cool guy. I have not fought people. I have not I haven't had no big tense arguments. I've had certain blow ups, but I remember somebody who rarely sees me told me that I had an anger problem. And I couldn't believe that they said that to me. And I was just like, if she don't see me that often and she's able to tell me I have an anger problem, I need to work on it. And I didn't complain about what she was saying or, oh, she crazy. I just worked on myself. And one of the things that I used to help was the Miracle Blueprint. Go check out the Miracle Blueprint, and if you have an anger problem or you have you want to work on not complaining, try it out for 40 days, and I bet you'll have a change in your life. And if you do all of the 7 things that are required within that program, you will see a miracle work in your life. Go to raylo.tv and check out the Miracle Blueprint. You know, one of the things that we're doing here, of course, we're talking about life, but we're going to talk about some business too. You know, there's going to be always going to be a business tie-in, because at the end of the day, we are trying to build more believers in business. That is the goal. So, one of the business tie-ins is that, separation isn't always failure. It's never failure. Actually, just going back to Abram and Lot, the separation allowed both of them to grow, both of them to claim their own lands. You know what I'm saying? It made Lot a boss. You know what I'm saying? He's truly the boss now, you know what I'm saying, over his own people. So never look as separation as a failure. Look at it as you being able to take what's rightfully yours. You don't chase the greener grass. Chase what God has planned for you. You know what I'm saying? One things that you can apply from this message today. Choose peace over possessions, unity over ego. Your ego is not your amigo. I remember somebody told me that. I like that little phrase. Your ego is not your amigo. Always choose unity over your ego. Focus on a long-term vision and not the short-term gain. And trust God with your plans, and you'll never fail. Apply this into your life. Remember, choose your peace over possession. Sometimes you just got to let it go. Sometimes you got to separate from certain things. It doesn't mean that it's a failure. It means that if you trust in God, God is going to have something better for you. And one thing that we learn in this biblical blueprint, and just in life, you're going to have these trials. You go through the trials and the tribulations because there's a blessing at the end of it. And there's always a blessing at the end of it if you believe in God and you're obedient to God. He will never forget you. Just always remember that. So, in closing, don't fight for what looks good. Fight what God declared as yours. Choose your peace over pride and your purpose over position. Choose faith over fear. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared. Just jump out on faith. And always remember, your separation can always lead to your elevation. It's your boy Raylo. Thank you so much, for checking out this episode of the Biblical Blueprint. I hope to see you again. If you want to learn, go all the way from 1 to 13, man. We on chapter 13, man. I'm gonna keep going. And, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.